Cena's Corner.
I'm back. All right, people, what is going on? It has been a long time. First, before I get started, let me just say this. Like, I'm looking all over the place. My camera's above me, so it doesn't always pick me up as I'm looking at you, but I'm looking at the screen, so I'm looking directly at you. If I look weird at some point, it's because there is an AI tool that'll make it look like I'm looking directly at the screen. So I may or may not turn that on. We'll see how that works on this video. But first, let me just say a big shout out to my man, Sage Turk. I know it's been a long time. We're going to get into that. But let me remind you who Sage Turk is. The logo that you see behind me and the logo that I have used professionally throughout my whole entire YouTube career was made by Sage Turk. If you guys remember back in the day, when I first started out, I actually had a contest for people to create logos for me. And it was a rough, hard time because I had so many logos coming in from all you guys that I had to pick one. And Sage Turk was the guy who won. Sage Turk also went on to make all of the logos and emblems and drops that you saw me use for Team Cena as well. So I don't know if he's still here. I just want to give a big shout out to Sage Turk. He is still being used. This is still my logo, and I'm grateful for it. So let's move on to what's been going on since I've last saw you guys here. I do understand that the last time that you heard anything from me besides 2 months ago was 8 years ago. I did a video back then that said, I'm back. And my intentions were exactly that, to come back. Sometimes life has its way of doing weird things to you that your intentions, well, they don't play out the way you want them to. But that was the last time that we talked. I want to say thank you because according to my analytics, after all this time and all these years, I still have 4,624 of you that is subscribed still to this channel. I lost one of you in the last 28 days. There's been 201 views in the last 28 days with a watch time of 5.1 hours. Let me tell you this, just from a creator's perspective, that is impeccable. That means I grew a base of you guys that still believe in me, that still want to hear from me, and that still stuck around, I guess, hoping that I would come back or bring something back to this table. It also proves to me that my voice is still important to this community. So I want to say thank you to all of you guys that are still here, all 4,624 of you. Let's kind of regrow this channel. I want to get back and get repartnered. I want to be back on a regular basis. We're going to talk about what we're going to bring here. But thank you for sticking with me all this long time. So let me answer some burning questions. That's what this video kind of is about, to answer some questions that I know that you guys may have. Where have I been? What has become of Team Cena? Do I still talk to certain people? Well, I'm going to clear some of that up for you. And then I'm going to tell you what the future of this channel is. And what the future now, which is very exciting, of rhythm gaming is going to be. And I believe you're going to start seeing that as soon as the early part of 2026. So let's dive into what have I been doing and who do I still talk to? I have lost contact with a lot of Team Cena members. There are still some that still do follow me. Some guy still does. He's been happily married now for years. I think he even has kids at this point. So he's still out there. He's doing his thing. Bill TV Show. Bill TV Show now is also married. He's also a dad. Remember, all of these cats 8, 9, 10, 12, 13 years ago, they were either single, not married, that didn't have a thought of having a child. But now Bill TV Show is a dad. He's married very happily, just like some guy. He married his longtime girlfriend, Sarah, if you guys remember her. Don't know whatever happened to I Bite Pretty Hard. I still try to track him down. I do know that he's alive because every once in a while, he does pop in and out in different areas. So I do know that he is alive. Annex, as you guys probably know, she did move back to the States. She has now had a second child. She's doing very well. Don't talk to Phil anymore. That's on Phil. That's his decision. I won't get into it here why I think that happened. It's something that happened many, many moons ago. And nothing that I really did, but he said that I did. And so I haven't talked to him or his sister. I will say my condolences to him as well as to his sister, because I don't know that they did lose their father. And his sister also did lose her husband a while ago. And to be as young as Tiff is, to have to go through that is very heartbreaking. I do still care about them and all of Team Cena. You can't imagine. These guys are my family. We built something together nobody else did first, and I still have a heart for all of them, regardless of what's happening. So if anybody from Team Cena is listening to this, feel free to chime in. But that's the updates that I have now. So what have I been doing? So yes, I know that video sale is coming back. I really wanted to, but here is the problem with Cena's Corner as I saw it. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do to rectify that. Cena's Corner was a channel that people went to get their news when it came to rhythm gaming. So when you came to Cena's Corner, you were looking for rhythm gaming stuff. You were looking for the best reviews you could get. You were looking for what's going on in the world of Rock Band or Guitar Hero or anything else that was there. So essentially, what I believe happened is I have pigeonholed myself, because if you go back through my channel, I did try to branch off into other things. Right, I tried to branch off into helping people learn how to use certain programs or different games or things of that nature. But Cena's Corner was always wrapped right into that video game or that rhythm gaming segment. And I think this is what a lot of people want to come for. And I had never really sat down and explained that, hey, I need to branch this out and this is what I want to do. So when I wanted to come back and the things I wanted to come back and talk about, well, they really didn't exist, right? As of now, you guys probably know, Rock Band is done. They made deals with Fortnite and they built a whole thing into Fortnite, which I'm sorry, I didn't really think it was that good. But the Harmonix is not the same company that it was even 2 years ago. All of the people that we knew, that I interviewed, that I talked to, like the John Drakes of the world, they moved on somewhere else. John Drake has been working now for Sony for years. And the whole company has switched. I don't think there's anybody there that I even know anymore. So now that they announced that they're no longer ever making Rock Band again, really, that basically all they're going to do is just stagnate it where it's at, that effectively killed the music scene at that point for games. Okay, Guitar Hero's long gone. You know, they really oversaturated the market. We could do a whole video on that. There's many people that has how many games Guitar Hero pumped out, with people still saying that that's the reason why the genre kind of died. Rock Band was the last breath that was holding. And so now, of course, I understand that there was other people out there like Clone Hero and Yarg and all of these things. But to me, it was never quite the same. So let me just give you this part. I'll tell you what else I've been doing. About a month or two ago, I sat down and I was like, you know what? I kind of really miss it. You know, my house right now is not in any position for me to put my drums up or things of that nature, but I'm like, I really kind of miss just rhythm gaming as a whole. Just give me a guitar. And then the biggest shock of my life happened. So I said, well, all of my Rock Band guitars are put away. Some don't work anymore. And I know Yarg would work with it. And some, I guess Guitar Hero worked with certain guitars. I'm like, forget it. Let me just see if I can just find any other guitar out there that I can just use, right? So I was looking at maybe getting another Rock Band guitar to pair with it or whatever. And so in my search, I came across a company called Cracked. And I'm like, this is interesting. And so at the time that I'm searching was right at the time that they were announcing that they were about to release the brand new Les Paul Cracked guitar. I said, let me dig into this. But there was something weird that I kind of noticed about this guitar, which was as I'm looking at it and before I'm ordering it, I'm like, look at the fretboard. Now, the fretboard is cool because the fretboard glows. But if you really paid attention and you was willing to see like I was, on the fretboard, there was something that was just trolling you. And it was the red octane symbol. I come to find out that red octane is behind Yarg, I guess, from what I've read. And that's why the game was so good. And that's what I had downloaded to use. Because everybody's like, if you want to do this, you know, go to Yarg. They had even made announcements there that now that Red Octane was looking at something bigger, that they may not be able to update Yarg as often as they had. So I'm like, oh, let me look further into this. So I don't know, my background's probably going to kill it, but here it is. I do, in fact, have a Yarg or a Cracked guitar. I have been using it now for the last month or so. We're going to talk all about that because I'm going to come back and do a separate video of what I think about this. And I would very much love to work with Red Octane. But let me get to that later. So as I'm doing this research, people's now coming up. Some creators I had never heard of before. There's other cast now that has taken over this mantle. I don't have their names in front of me, but my next video, I'm going to have these names of these people. I want to give them some credit and kudos because they have kept the rhythm game genre alive. They're still doing FCs and people still trying to perfectly FC through the fire and flames. And now they've upped it to where now, well, I've FC'd it this way. Let me see if I can do it at this speed. It's just crazy. And so I'm listening and one of the guys happens to be dealing with Red Octane. Red Octane comes out and announces that the cracked guitar is only the beginning, that they are planning on making a brand new music game. Now, they didn't give a date. They didn't give a time, but at the way that this is going, I think we're going to see this sometime early or mid 2026. This guitar was just the beginning. And when I tell you guys that it gives you everything that we asked for in all of the years I was active from a guitar, this one's it. Before long, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you what I think about the cracked guitar. I'm also going to put a thing out there to Red Octane now. If you guys come to the music game, I was one of the biggest influencers. I would love to work with Red Octane just like I did with Harmonix. And I should have said this at the beginning, for those of you guys that's tuning in fresh, if you don't know who I've made some statements like Team Cena. People like, what the heck is that? Yes, I was one of the biggest rock band influencers of my time. I made a whole career out of it. Everything that you have seen in rock band, I probably reviewed in my house first. There was a couple of these that was getting made out of the woodwork. Destroyer Pedal, Goodwood Mods, you name it, they was coming. All of those, whether it was boxes, switches, drums, guitars, made it to my house. I did reviews on those, and then they got released to the public, and a lot of them honed on the reviews in which I gave. Later down that line, I did create the very first ever plastic musician team that did get paid. That was Team Cena. I was the first one to ever do it. That caused a big uproar. I think I have a video about that because now everybody wanted to make teams, but not for the reason of why I did it. And the reason why I did it is because I wanted everybody to be included. If you look at all of the teams that was made after me, I should say the clone teams, they did exactly the opposite of what Team Cena was meant to do. They wanted all expert players. They wanted people that was top notch. I wanted a community where everybody felt they was welcome, whether they're medium, hard, easy, no notes at all, whatever the case is, to be able to have a spot that feels good. I'm a professional drummer, so yes, when it came to drums, that felt me laterally, but I'm no more than a hard guitarist. And we'll talk about that down the line, because if you play Yard, the hard parts or the hard guitar parts on Yard ain't nothing to laugh about, especially as people get to tweak those themselves. So that's just a little bit more about me and things that you guys are hearing. What have I been doing since? So since I've been gone from here, I have launched a very successful podcasting career. If you go back into the Cena's Corner channel 3 years ago, I indeed did drop a trailer for True Crime and Authors, which was the name of it at that time. I know a lot of you guys seen it. It had 190 views. I am a true crime podcaster. And the reason why my show is named that, now titled True Crime, Authors, and Extraordinary People, is because of the things in which I cover. Now, I need to backtrack a little bit of things you guys don't know of how this career started. Basically, I've been doing this now 9.5 years. So the first 4.5, 5 years of that, I was with my oldest daughter, Geneva. Geneva and I started a podcast called A Day with Crime. You can still find it. We release hundreds of episodes once every week, and it was all about true crime. This is what the whole podcast is about. Made history. Didn't know that. Now, if you guys know anything, a lot of people call me the niche master because all of the niches I come up with, no one else has done or doing at the time. So when it came with Cena's Corner, that whole thing, nobody was really doing it the way that I was. Nobody was really talking to cameras like I'm talking to you now, like I have an audience in front of me. When it came to podcasting, we had to think of a niche there. So A Day with Crime was a father-daughter true crime podcast. And the way that we looked at that was, I'm about 19 years older than my daughter. So you have an older generation perspective and a newer generation perspective on these cases, and we just went for it. Get contacted by Spreaker some years down the line after that, and they go, we want you on our platform. We'll pay for you to come here. And we're like, why? Right? We ain't no better than anybody else. We're just out here doing a podcast, giving our, thoughts and whatever. But then they tell us, well, you made history. Because at that time, there was no other podcast that was a father-daughter podcast. We were it. Then they go, then you did it twice, because since there was no one else, you're African Americans. Now you make it because you're the first African Americans to do it. So I'm like, cool. So we ran with that. Well, about 5 years in or so, my daughter decided that she wanted to go do something else. And now she does things with books, and she has a whole YouTube channel about that. But I said, I don't want to stop podcasting. I kind of like this. I get to talk about things that maybe people want to hear. I said, but how can I ramp that up? You can't just go do true crime, because the podcast scene is so oversaturated, especially when, the pandemic hit in 2020. Everybody was making podcasts off the woodwork. I mean, they've got so many dead podcasts out there because of how many people was making. And so I'm like, what can I do to stand out from the rest of the true crime world? And I start doing research. So I'm sitting down and I'm thinking one day, and I go, you know what? I like to read. But the problem is the books I like to read is people that no one's really heard of. They're independent authors. They're really good at what they do. They should be up there with some of the bigger names that you know. But being that nobody knew them, I'm like, if nobody knows them, then why don't I help that out? So I reached out to my very first person. I had read her book called The Girl I Never Knew. Her name was Adana Humphrey. And I was like, this is going to be a joke, right? Because doing research on her, she was a big prominent author from where she's from. And she's written these books and she's followed this case for X amount of years. I'm like, let me write her, but she ain't going to get back to me. So I wrote her. And I told her who I was, what I was doing, that this is a brand new show, brand new concept that I'm coming out with. Gave her my whole history of podcasting, so on and so forth. Writes back, she goes, I'd be honored to come on your show. There's my first author. From there, her publishers just started sending me all these authors. So True Common Authors was born. Halfway through that first year, I decided, though, I'm like, man, maybe there's something else we could put in here. There's something else we can do that no one else is doing. And I said, you know what? I am a survivor. And I don't know if you guys should know this, but if you're new to the channel, maybe you don't remember this, maybe you don't know. I've talked about it before, but I am a survivor of domestic abuse, both from a parent and from an ex-partner, right? The turmoil that takes on men these days, nobody talks about. Men won't talk about it because, of machismo. We're raised to be tough and the whole nine. And so I set out to this year, I've been on several podcasts talking about my journey and how that affected me and things of that nature, my career now, whole nine, right? So I was like, well, if I got this story, there's other people that have stories that maybe people want to hear. Maybe people think they're alone. So I piloted and I beta tested Extraordinary People section. I would just time these in with the regular ones, and it stuck. So that's where the name change came from. True Crime Authors and Extraordinary People. I've talked to people that's been trafficked. I've talked to people that's been molested. You name it, I've talked to people on this show. And so 3 years ago, I'm getting ready to go into the 4th season of that show now. I started True Crime Authors, Extraordinary People. Now, beyond that scope, a lot of things with your boy caught on, right? Like, I became this great producer of podcasts, and I became this great editor because everything on my show, just like on Cena's Corner, I did myself. So now I'm a podcast producer. I do have about 3 other shows that I do produce for and edit for on a weekly basis. Also, I have more than just True Crime and Extraordinary People. I do another podcast called Extinguished with LaDonna Humphrey. And that podcast talks about nothing but the missing and murdered. And then I do another podcast that is called Beneath the Red Sky, again with LaDonna Humphrey, where we're tackling the epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women, men, and boys. So that's about 3 right there. So up under my whole career, I've had about 4 different podcasts that I have physically been on. And that is where I have been. And that is what I have been doing. I've been away from here. And I've always wanted to find a way to incorporate you guys into everything in which I am doing. I think that it is acceptable now. I think you guys want to see what I am doing outside of this. And so here's what we're going to do with this channel. Yes, I am coming back to talk everything rhythm gaming as it drops. I'm going to be reaching out to some people that I know is associated with Red Octane. I'm going to be reaching out to Red Octane myself. I'm going to introduce them, point them to this channel. I very much would love to stay intact with the rhythm game community, but still, I really want to bring that community back. I want to see it flourish again. And if Red Octane has this thought of how they're going to rejuvenate that, I very much want to be a part of that again. So we are going to be doing that here as well. But now there's some other things I'm going to bring over to this channel for you. Think of Cena's Corner channel more now as like a hybrid. I'm going to try to incorporate you guys into everything in which I am doing. Now, I don't know how far back I want to go with the podcast. So I'm going to link you to another YouTube channel that does have all of them on there, because I don't want to inundate you guys with all of the episodes that I've had from there. A lot of them was not video at the time. They were audio. That would be, I think there's 139 episodes right now. So just imagine you getting flooded with 139 videos day after day after day. We're not going to do that. Going forward, though, from my next episode and interview and things that I do is going to be here as well. So I'm going to upload that to this channel. I think that my biggest audience is here. I think you guys will appreciate that. And the one thing that I do like about the audience that I have here, and I know you guys haven't changed, is you guys are always opinionated. If I ask to get some feedback, you guys give the feedback. And one of the cases you're going to get real soon, I know you're going to have a whole lot of feedback on, because it's about the DoorDash girl. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to incorporate you guys into that. Also, here is the one thing that I forgot to mention that I am now also doing. You guys probably be like, this man has a whole bunch of irons and fires, because I do. But it's things that I enjoy doing, because I like helping people out. I have recently just launched a channel. Now, I won't bring those all over here, but I'm going to ask you guys to go visit this channel. It's brand new, so there's very minimal views that are there right now. The channel is called Original Stories by the Fireplace. Let me tell you what that's all about. I am actually reading you original stories between 9 and sometimes 60 minutes long that you can unwind with, try to go to sleep. If you have anxiety, you can calm that. Or if you just want to hear a good story, all of these stories are original. They have been nowhere else. Right, they're made right for my channel. You're not going to hear them anywhere. So if you hear these stories someplace else, somebody copied them, because they're only being done here first. So right now, just to tell you what you can get if you go over there, if you're into books, I am actually reading a book right now. It's called The Firstborn Prophecy, and it's about my friend LaDonna Humphrey. This is the book that she has now put on her Substack. And I agreed to read it here to get her more interest, because the book is just the bomb. Right now, she's writing this book in real time, and you guys are part of that. So what I mean by that is, as she's writing the book, every week she's dropping another chapter. So right now, if you went to this channel, which I'll link below, you would get The Firstborn Prophecy, prologue, and intro, and all that. And she just recently dropped chapter 1. What I want you guys to do is go in there and listen to these. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think I should stop reading stories. Is my voice soothing enough for that? Let me know what you think about Firstborn Prophecy. Is it a book that you would buy? Is it a book that you would continue to listen to? Her Substack is down there. Now, the premise of this is she's giving you book 1 for free. That's why I'm able to read this right now. So everything's free on the Substack, but book 2 and so forth, she's going to sell that to you, because there will definitely be a book 2. So as this hybrid channel goes, I'm not going to bring all those here. We will leave that a separate channel. But I'm going to ask you guys to go over there to that channel and subscribe for me, and then tune in every week as I bring you these stories, because they truly are good stories. Okay? So let's recap what we're going to do. I am coming back to the rhythm game scene as soon as Red Octane releases what they're going to do and what the game is and the whole nine. We're going to be back. I'm going to bring you what you always have from Cena's Corner, which is the 100% truth. Not gonna sugarcoat things. I never have. Not gonna kiss any company's butt. Never have. You guys know what you're gonna get from that. I'm also going to incorporate true crime authors and extraordinary people over here as well. So now going forward, you will be clued into the stuff that I am doing right now. And I want you guys to be a part of that, because you guys have always been my biggest audience. Then on top of that, I asked you to go over to the channel, which I will link in the description, Original Stories by the Fireplace. That is where I'm reading you original stories, and I'm dropping some of those daily. I'm 1 or 2 days behind right now, but there will be more coming up. Right now, you do have about 2 other stories besides what we did with the Firstborn Prophecy on that. So for all intents and purposes, people, I'm back. You will hear from me at this point on a weekly basis, because I drop podcast episodes on a weekly basis. If it is late this week, it is Thanksgiving week. But what I will do is I will upload there is one that just came out, but there's a problem with the video. So if I can't figure out what the problem is and get that up and ready to go, then I will upload that one here sometime tonight or tomorrow. If I can't get that figured out, then the next one you will hear from me from would be my extraordinary person. That's the next segment. So you will see that video here. You don't have to go anywhere else for that. As a matter of fact, there is a True Crime and Authors channel, but I'm considering taking that channel down. So I will give you what is here and you will get that fresh every week. Then again, Original Stories by the Fireplace uploads there sometimes daily, but will become a weekly thing. So that's where we are. Let me know in the comments, guys. Are you happy I'm back? Have you been waiting me to come back? What do you think about the new hybrid channel? I'm trying to dig in now to get people to make new banners for me and things of that nature if I can't figure that out myself. So it is a work in progress. So you will see some things happening with the channel. But I'm just glad to be back with you guys. I've always loved doing this. You guys know that. I never really wanted to go away, but where we were at had burned out. Now we're back. Once again, thankful to all 4,624 of you. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe now. This is it. I am definitely back. You're going to get all this content from me. You get to see sides of me you never have because you guys only heard me talk about video games. You never heard me talk about true crime and what I think about that, or stories like the one you're going to get probably in a week's time about the DoorDash girl. Everybody's talking about it. But remember, nobody does it like I do, right? Everybody's different. Mine will be a different take. And I will not hold back. All right, guys, thank you. Once again, I am grateful that I have so many of you still here. It's kind of funny. It's like John Cena is retiring and I'm coming back. So again, thank you guys for being here. Tell your friends or anybody that you subscribe. I'm back. Come back and subscribe. You will get some drops here really soon. Like I said, if you don't get one this couple of days, give me about a week because that's when my next one will go up. But as soon as those things happened, they will be right here on Cena's Corner channel. All right, guys, I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back. I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace, love, and keep rocking out. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next one.